Welcome back to the Excellence Project. We are a community of people dedicated to living life to the fullest and striving to excellence each and every day. My name is Egbert, and I thank you for joining me today. Today, we're going to continue on the journey that we've started a few weeks ago now, talking about the 6 common fears that hinder us from becoming the best person that we can be. The 6 common fears that gets in the way of us living life to the fullest. Today we are going to be talking about the fear of success. Yes, I know that sounds strange, but there are some of us who are afraid of being successful, and in so doing, we go out of our way to sabotage ourselves. Today, we will look at the term success. What is success? We will look at some of the ways in which the fear of success affects us, and finally, we will look at a few action tips that we can use to ensure that we overcome this fear, to ensure that every day we are striving and we are moving just that bit closer to us living our fullest life. What is success? The motivational speaker and author Earl Nightingale said, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal." So that tells me that success is not that thing you work towards and then you get there and then you've achieved success. It's not like setting off to climb the top of the mountain, and once you've gotten to the top of the mountain, you've achieved success and you're successful and that's it. That to me represents achieving a goal. But according to Mr. Nightingale, success sounds like something that we continually strive towards. He said it's a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That tells me we don't actually know what success is, or what success is going to end up looking like to each and every one of us. So what I think is success to me might not be what you think is success. So it's the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Now, some people who will do whatever it takes to make money, that includes scamming people. So last week I had this experience where my computer shut down in the middle of me trying to hand in or trying to finish my final assignment to hand it in the following day, and my computer shuts down. It's frozen, it does not move. And then I get a message on the computer that says I need to call Microsoft because my computer's firewall has detected someone has hacked my IP address. Looked at the number on there, it's a legitimate London number. Looked at the software that they're using, it's a legitimate software. So I called the number. But something seemed a little bit amiss to me. So of course, what I did was I moved my finances around, and then I called the number, only to find out a little later that it was a scam. And I naively allowed these people into my computer, but luckily they didn't get much. That is not success. So they totally ruin your life so that they can add money to their bank balance, so that they can drive the best cars and wear the sharpest clothes. But that is not success. because that is not a worthy ideal. That's profiting of other people's suffering. So Mr. Nightingale says, that success is the realization of a worthy ideal. He also goes on to say that we become that which we think about. We become that which we think about. So if we think we are good, if we think we are happy, if we think we're successful, we become that which we think about, because what we focus on gets magnified. What we focus on means we are working towards. So if you have set yourself some goals and you start working towards it, success is a realization of a worthy ideal. The Webster's Dictionary defines success as a fact of getting or achieving wealth, respect, or fame. So Earl Nightingale says success is the realization of a worthy ideal. That suggests something internal, that suggests some value system. Webster says it's the achieving of something that you set out to get, like wealth or fame. So that suggests something tangible, something more physical. The Oxford Dictionary, however, agrees slightly with Mr. Nightingale in defining success as the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. So again, the Oxford Dictionary seems to suggest that success is something more internal, something more intangible, something that has to do with someone's values, someone's identity. So I identify as somebody who is hardworking. I identify as somebody who is successful. I identify as somebody who believes in adding value to other people. And by adding value to other people, then I become successful. So we have Mr. Nightingale's definition of success. We have Webster's definition of success. We have the Oxford Dictionary's definition of success. And finally, we have the Cambridge Dictionary definition of success, which says that success is achieving the results that you wanted or you hoped for. It's achieving the results that you wanted or you hope for. So that emphasizes the idea of achieving a desired outcome or goal, regardless of whether it's a personal or it's a value-based desire or an external-based measure such as wealth or fame or finance. So we have different perspectives of what success is. We have different authorities on success looking at it slightly differently. So what is the fear of success? So the fear of success is a psychological phenomenon. We can also refer to it as an emotional, a mental, or even a psychosomatic phenomenon, where an individual, yourself, myself, experiences anxiety, fear of responsibility in achieving their goals or reaching their full potential, as well as being successful. So some of us, this fear of success manifests itself in a form of anxiety, which in itself is fear of the future. So if you're an anxious person, it is easy to make the connection to see how you might be fearful of success, because anxiety is fear of the unknown, fear of the future, and the fear of success manifests itself in a form of anxiety. So ways in which success can affect us, we continue. Have you ever find yourself wondering, did I cause my own failure? No, I had this interview today and it did not go well. I did not get the job. Or I set myself a goal 3 months ago that I have not achieved. Did I cause the failure? Did I fail because I was not able to achieve that goal, genuinely not able to achieve that goal? Did I fail because I was not suited for the job, or did I fail because I sabotaged myself? Or think of it the other way. Have you gotten into a relationship with somebody you just think, whoa, that man or that woman, that is just totally out of my league. I hit the jackpot on this one. And then you find yourself doing really silly things. You find yourself doing things that will sabotage the relationship, things that will destroy the relationship, things that you wouldn't normally do. But the thing is, we will never keep anything that we don't believe we deserve. So if it's money, if it's a job, if it's a spouse or a partner, if you do not believe that you deserve that thing or that person, you wouldn't keep it. Because subconsciously, you will be working behind the scenes to destroy that thing or to get rid of that thing. This is referred to as an imposter syndrome. So it's an imposter syndrome, and it leads us as individuals to feel like fraud. You know, I shouldn't be there. Although a certain level of imposter syndrome can be beneficial, in that if you're living a happy and successful life, sometimes some of us will go, well, I feel like I am living somebody else's life. My life is so good. I am in such a good place that I feel like I am living somebody else's life. So that's healthy, because that means you're going to continue to work towards that. But when the imposter syndrome leads you to self-sabotage, then that's another issue. So this fear causes us to sabotage our efforts towards achieving our goals. It will do that through causing us to procrastinate, to avoid taking opportunities, we make excuses, and we avoid taking action. And ultimately, what happens is that it affects our confidence and it affects our self-esteem. The next way, quickly, the fear of success affects us is the fear of change. So we're anxious about the unknown, we're anxious about the future, we're afraid of change. You know, my aunt, I have an aunt who lives in Bristol, and Bristol is a fair few way away. Well, it's about 4-hour drive or something like that, 3.5-hour drive. And I've been meaning to go to Bristol for a while now to help my auntie with a few tasks. For you judge me, I do go eventually. But the thing is, going to Bristol represents to me a major change, because it's a fair distance away. So it's a good bit of logistics to plan and go. And then when I get to Bristol, I spend a couple of days, I find coming back from Bristol a bit emotionally unsettling as well, because I have to leave a different environment and come back home. That to me is fear of change. Now, does that mean that there's a fear of success somewhere in me? Maybe. It's something that I am looking into. It's something that I am dealing with. But if you can see these signs in the way you handle change, if success brings responsibilities and expectations and change that you become anxious about, if this gets you overwhelmed and provokes anxiety that leads to fear of taking action, then probably it's worth looking at the next step. What are some of the things we can do to overcome the fear of success? So a few action tips, because it's okay to listen to me, but the research suggests that you go from about 10%, if you just listen to something you have a 10% chance or less than 10% chance of retaining it or taking action on it. But if you actually write that thing down, so this is my encouragement to you to get a pen, get a paper, get on your computer and write some notes down, because your chances of taking action goes from less than 10% to around 40%. So take some notes down. Here are some of the action steps or action tips that can be taken to overcome the fear of success. The first one will be to identify and challenge your limiting beliefs. So what are the things that you say to yourself that limits who you are, limits the thing you can achieve? What are the things that you say to yourself that's not actually you speaking, but it's your fear speaking through you? For me, as long as I can remember, one of the things that I told myself was I am not a morning person. So I was never able to get up early. I was always grumpy in the morning. And when I was in high school, I did athletics. I did sprint. And I was fairly quick. I'm not saying I was Usain Bolt, but I was fairly quick. But we trained in the mornings. And because I told myself I'm not a morning person, getting up in the morning was very difficult for me. So I stopped track and field. No, I will never know how far I would have gotten in track and field because I told myself I was not a morning person and I stopped going to training. So identify and challenge any self-limiting beliefs. That's the first step in dealing with the fear of success. It may involve examining those beliefs. So look at the beliefs, look at the things that you tell yourself, look at the things you say about yourself, and find out, is there any truth to it? Examine the evidence for and against. And then it may be worth putting a positive spin on these things. So saying I'm not a morning person and I cannot get up early, I can reframe that and say waking up in the mornings is a bit of a challenge for me, but it's one that I am willing to take on. Some people may say I am shy, I can't speak, I can't do public speaking. There's a lot of us who are afraid of public speaking. Actually, it's one of the most prevalent fears in the world. More people are afraid of speaking in public than they are afraid of spiders. But we can reframe that. We can turn it around and say, this may pose a challenge to me, but I will learn the skills, I will practice, and through that I know I will eventually overcome. The next thing we can do is start by taking small, smart steps. So a lot of times we want to go from 0 to 90. We want to go from not exercising at all to going to the gym 7 days a week. We want to go from years of telling myself I am unattractive, I am overweight, to going to the gym 7 days a week, or to fasting for 2-3 days at a time. This is not going to work because it is not physically possible. The amount of willpower it takes to do that is not in most of us. But if we start by taking small, smart steps, small actions, set one goal, break it down into smart goals, break it down in a way that's achievable. So we set smart goals, which are goals that are specific, they are measurable so we can measure them, they are achievable, they are relevant to values or the identity that we're trying to take on, and they're time bonded. So we set a goal, I will achieve X by year 2 or by the year 2023. Next thing we can do is we can celebrate our achievements. So every little thing you achieve, you celebrate it. Jim Rohn says, Take responsibility for your failure. Yes. But make sure you celebrate every achievement, no matter how small that is. Another thing we can do is we can seek support. Find people who have done the things that you want to do. Find someone who's walked that road already. It's said that success leaves clues. Find the footprints of someone who's walked that road and walk in their footprint. Ask them 1,000,001 questions. Ask them how they did it. And learn from other people's experience. Other people's experience, Les Brown says, OPE, other people's experience. So that's my new mantra. Taking small, smart steps and doing it consistently over time. Putting routines in place that will build habits that will help you to develop a new identity or a new value. James Clear in Atomic Habits says, gentle change equates to permanent change. So, the fear of success, it is real. A lot of us struggle with it, but there are things that we can do to overcome this fear. Thank you for joining me today. I am Egbert, and it's always a privilege and an honor to do these videos. Like I keep saying, it's a journey that I am on and I am sharing with you. As I am learning the things that I'm learning, I would like to share it with you, because the best way of solidifying the things that you've learned is by teaching it or by sharing it with the people that you love or sharing it with the people that's around you. So if this video or the information shared in this video is beneficial to you in any way, please like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, because it's by you leaving comments and telling me what's good or what I can do better, that's how this program, this channel can develop. That's how I can develop as a person or as a presenter, as a researcher. Leave a comment. Please leave a comment. Give the program a thumbs up if the information is valuable to you in any way. Share it. If it's been beneficial to you in any way, share it with somebody else. Knowledge is power when shared. If you just sit on knowledge, that's not power. But if you share it and if you put it into action, then knowledge becomes power. So till next time, this is Egbert saying, stay well in mind, spirit and body.